Good River. How'd you hear about this?
I follow you guys.
Okay.
Kind of religiously. It's not awkward. Follow you guys because the whole goal is to free fly her.
Okay.
But I'm kind of an animal trainer, so I've been doing a lot of it, and I feel like her fly feathers have come in and she's become amazing indoors. So I'm really like future. I hope to work with you guys in the future.
Yeah. Well, we can definitely talk about that. So if your goal is free flight, what's your goal today?
Today, one big hurdle we've kind of a hiccup we've come into with training is that she starts making this awful noise, and it's usually triggered by training. As soon as she sees that I have a treat or my clicker or anything, she starts going, hey, 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 and it's like, I'm hoping she'll do it. I assume it's hormonal, and that I think, but I'm not sure. But it's awful, and it's like, I just have to quit. I'm like, okay, we get like a couple reps in, and then she's just like, I'm done, and I'm gonna scream at you. And it's not like screaming, but it is this staticky sound.
Yeah. Are you the only person training her?
For the most part. I've had like a boyfriend that'll kind of play with her and attempt stuff with her, and she works for just about anybody, but...
Does she do it with your boyfriend?
I don't think he's done a long enough training, like a full training session.
So no.
I don't remember it happening.
Okay.
I can't remember. I feel she may have, but I may have jumped in there too. It's definitely usually
you seem to be the trigger.
Yeah.
What, how long are your training sessions?
10 minutes.
Okay.
Flight training is the only time she doesn't do it as bad. So if I go into flight training and I call her, she usually calms down once she's taken a flight. But like I've been trying to teach her to roll over, and she's almost there, but I can't get my finger. I'm like phasing my finger out of it because I've done it with her doing like a wave, and then she grabbed me and then she kind of flipped over. And so now she waits for me to put my finger out there so she can latch onto it. We get a couple rolls, and then she starts doing this noise at me.
What is you said you've done some training before, like what's your training history?
I'm a dog trainer.
Okay.
They make
the best flight students.
And then I also work with, I coach kids skiing. I do all sorts of training and coaching and teaching. And
I have a theory for why you're getting the screaming. Like, or the... Yeah, that.
It's awful. I don't even know what to call it because it almost like has this staticky noise to it. I feel like it's like a radio or a broken record. Let's see, what do I have today?
What are the favorite treats?
I'm not 100% sure what her all-time favorite treats are.
Her whole demeanor just changed when she heard you rattling.
I know. She's like, you gotta have the clicker.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Are you ready?
You ready for judgment?
That's right. I didn't give you water. Huh. Just since walking in here. She had water. Hi.
Oh, you give kisses too?
She gives kisses. Woo! Are you excited?
Can I have you just lock that door for a moment, just in case somebody comes barreling in? Thanks.
Now I'm on the spot, huh? Alright, what do we know how to do? Start from the beginning. Wow, you grabbed that fast. That's a short perch. It doesn't have very far to go. Thank you. Yeah, you're motivated. Let's try a trick or two. She's waving. That's like, first thing I taught her, and now that's all she does. I almost don't even click for it. She just constantly waves. Okay. There we go.
Should you spin both directions?
Yes.
Is that what
Yeah, I just spin both directions. Do you want to try it? See if she'll fly?
Yeah, I'd love to see. She's definitely...
That's kind of almost all we practice anymore is Fable. I think these are mostly sunflower seeds right now. Whoa. Oh.
Do you fly her back to the perch ever?
Yes.
Okay.
I just don't know that perch, so I didn't know if she'd probably go back to it. You don't know that perch very well, do you? That's kind of mostly what we do. Fable.
So I'm curious why you didn't click there.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
It was, once we get rolling, clicks are optional. Clicks are optional. I don't know, I think it's probably, it starts to become just this thing that we do around the house, and I stop clicking because I'm often doing stuff, and I make her station, and then I'll randomly call her, and I'll just reward her for coming.
Okay.
That's probably I use my clicker for fine tuning very subtle behaviors, but when it's something that's a longer, kind of more fluid behavior, I sometimes drop the click.
Okay.
I do still use a verbal marker
Okay.
from time to time. So, yeah. What else do we know? That's just about it. So I don't know what you guys want to see there.
Yeah. Can you give her one more recall?
Yeah. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Fable.
Nice. She waits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very good.
Looks really good.
So, if you want to put her up for a little bit,
Sure.
we can just kind of debrief everything we just saw real quick.
Yeah.
So it's always kind of strange for me to coach people that are already professional trainers.
Yeah.
So
Just.
I'll come at this from a standpoint of what I would do slightly differently for free flight.
Okay. Yeah.
I like everything looks awesome. You could tell when she was ready to be engaged for flight. And I was like, you recall her? And she was just waiting, which is cool. You don't usually get that with Galahs. So that was neat to see. Yeah, no.
Yeah, she loves it. She's like, call me, come on.
Yeah. For preparation for free flight, I would just, out of what I saw, I would just encourage that you click every single time she lands on you.
Okay.
If it was I use the phrase of like, take a flash photography shot of the exact moment. So as long as that was perfect, then click, which these all looked great.
Yeah.
The reason I would do that is when you get outside, you can start losing the clicker. But for like clarity for confidence, I guess, is like telling her, hey, we're in a training session. This is a formal session. Here's a click. That would be the only thing I saw there.
Okay.
Clearly you don't need it, but when it goes to free flight, I find that that's really helpful.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you seen our video on the birdie bubble? Have you heard us talk about that?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Might be a new one.
So the birdie bubble is best to explain like this. And I know you were explaining stuff to us, but it's just something subtle that I noticed.
Yeah.
So when I approach the perch, there's some distance where the bird's like, okay, cue me, right? And for her, you can see she's like...
What do you want me to do?
And so that's really good, but you can blow out your bird's training threshold if you stay there too long while you're having a conversation with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I pretend there's like a bubble, and you can step out of it and change your posture to like more relaxed.
Okay.
This is like, all right, I'm going to cue you, right?
Yeah.
But this is, hey, I'm going to just hang out. We're not training.
Yeah.
And so just in your casual conversation with us, you're still in this like training mode.
Yeah.
And in her bubble. And so one of the reasons you may be getting that like, is if that frustration builds from being in that birdie bubble without cueing, and obviously this scenario is different, right? Because you're trying to have a conversation with us too. But I find that if birds are in training mode and they're showing you that they want to train, like you're getting the little wave, you're getting the kisses, like there's a definite distinction.
She does the kisses all the time.
But there's like, she definitely knows when it's a formal session.
Yes.
And so that would be the first observation that might lead towards why you're getting that screaming, which we haven't got yet. I'm sure we'll get it throughout today.
Maybe.
Is like building frustration. Just formal training sessions, which should be 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
Not 10.
Yeah. Okay,
you can try. And I'll give you kind of an example of how you can do a formal session that's longer, but we'll go back to that. So it's formal sessions, typically 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
There's informal sessions, which is anytime the bird's out of the cage. The bird is learning, right? So
Yep.
we have a lot of people leave their birds out of the cage all day thinking they're doing the best thing for the bird.
Right.
But it becomes an informal session all day where they're accidentally punishing because the bird's getting into stuff.
Yeah.
But that's still a training session. And then capturing, as you know, is kind of the third one where it can be all the time. You're just waiting for that behavior. Mm-hmm. But when it comes down to the formal sessions, for specifically flight training, you're getting all the goods on this one. Specifically for flight training, a formal session can be 10 minutes if it's repetition based. Yes. Meaning you're not like, if you're going at the pace we were just doing, you do that for 10 minutes, you're probably going to burn out her willingness. And that might be, you said the trigger is at like 3 minutes. So what we want to do is we want to avoid hitting that trigger. Yeah. And we can jump back to that.
It's usually with little micro concepts. Like teaching her to, that's the other thing she does. She fetches. She has a little coin, a wood coin that I toss and she'll like retrieve from almost anywhere.
Nice. And she gets frustrated with that?
She got frustrated with that when I first started teaching it to her. Once she's got the concept, she's great. And she won't do that thing anymore. But like the rollover has been really frustrating for her, and that keeps triggering it. I think when I first taught her to spin, I think she was like, I don't know what you want. And she'd go into these.
Maybe we could watch
noises.
a session on the rollover.
That's
Do you
kinda what I
think
was
that she
thinking.
would
Yeah,
be
we
willing
can
to do
try
it somewhere here? Like, have you been using
Yeah.
anything similar to the
I don't know,
texture of
just,
the
like,
couch?
the bed
or the
and
rug?
yeah.
Okay.
What do you see? Will we flip
There's
upside
more
down too?
critters
Ready?
outside.
You don't wanna.
It's coming down pretty hard.
That's
so
okay. She
hold
might
it.
be a little uncomfortable in this scenario.
What's happening?
Yeah, okay.
Huh? Here, why don't you spin first?
That's easy. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Here we go. There.
Nice.
You get a couple, and then you're gonna.
Is that the noise that's
Not
starting?
quite, but it is. It is that. She starts kind of doing that, and then it gets worse. And I kind of wonder if she won't do it because she didn't eat breakfast. So there's sometimes if she's like extra motivated, she doesn't do it. She stays in the game, but then I think her frustration builds if she's. I just can't get my finger out of there. I'm not trying very hard
I think
right now,
part of
but
the reason is because your rollover is not like.
It's not
it's not
isolated.
straight. Yeah, it's not.
Thank you. He always
Yeah.
knows what I'm trying to convey.
Yeah, it's definitely not. I've been trying to, and she's totally reliant on my
No, it's-
hand being the cue too.
It's almost like her, like she's rolling towards her. Like
Can
it's
you-
not a-
Somersaulting?
It's not a.
Can you pick her up
Yeah.
and then...
Fable.
Actually, let me see if she'll do it and I'll try to...
There, we're starting it.
And then try to get the rollover as you set her down. Instead of having
Okay.
it follow from a spin.
Oh, we're gonna.
Oh my gosh, that is so random.
This is what we do, and then it's like.
That's what it is.
It's the baby
It's the
noise.
same.
Fable. You don't want to step up, do you? Okay.
So what I would do
I
is...
have to have a cool down letter.
We'll use this. So I would try to use your other hand. So she's spinning, right?
Yeah.
So try to bring your other hand in to help like stop the spin.
Yeah.
And if you need to use the treat to like show, do you understand what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say? Like
Yeah, I
you can
think
use
so.
the treat to help direct her attention. She doesn't know me well enough for me to do it.
She might if you were to start it before she got into frustrated mode. Now
yeah.
she's.
Yeah, so what I was thinking is that when I teach the rollover, it's very much here and
Yeah.
they're rolling over this way. What you're doing is like you're providing the finger, but she's almost rolling towards you, so you don't have the behavior isolated enough to remove
Yes.
your finger.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think if I don't want to make you mad, I think if you can shape
thinks
the
you're gonna ask
rollover,
her.
yeah, if you can shape the rollover,
Yeah. Yeah.
which you understand how to shape a
Oh, yeah.
behavior. If you can shape it from going towards you to going isolated to the side,
Yeah.
I think that you will have more clarity in the behavior and you'll be
Sure.
able to then get rid of your hand.
More success as well, along with what
Yeah,
Jenny was
can
saying.
you explain to me how you taught the behavior? Just break it down from approximations for me.
Yeah. So I think I started with a step up. It was the initial was I started with a step up and started to roll her.
Okay.
And I don't know where we got this spinning thing. I guess it was because I was trying to, it was when I started trying to get my finger out of
trying to
there.
phase your finger
Because I was
out.
like, okay, I don't want you to step up as much, and I wanted to click for their lean or
Yes.
shoulder. And so I was clicking for that, but I still, to cue it, she only knew it by my hand being
Yeah.
there. So I was putting my hand there.
Do you feel like it morphed from when your hand fully guided her, was that the clean rollover that you wanted? And then it transitioned when you started to phase out, that she changed it to rolling towards you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
so
took the
you need
hand
to go
down.
back.
Yeah.
I think we need to go back to when it
That
was
makes sense.
clean.
Okay.
And you
yep.
guide her the entire time, and then we'll work on shaping and phasing it out from there.
Mhm.
But I want to see like a clean rollover that's spaced away from your body, that's an exact rollover that you want.
Yeah.
I want to see that. I think we need to back it up.
Yeah.
And not cue
Yeah.
this one. Because I do think that part of the reason her rollover is sloppy is because she's in a hurry.
Yes.
So she's circling you in frustration, and then she's just kind of rolling within that bubble of frustration.
Right.
It's like this messy
yes.
thing.
Yes.
So let's go back to where it was clean and really clear.
yeah.
She's like, oh yeah.
I know she's like that so bad. She's like, she's a social bird.
You see that?
She ran out
She's
the
like,
door. I guess this is one of the games that we enjoy to get
So
warmed
I would
up.
say now
Okay.
let's try a
Yeah.
clean rollover going back to the initial phases of the training.
Yeah. Come over here.
Is that a blatant don't want to work on that?
Yeah, kind of. I think she got a little confused too because she's like, "Do you actually want me to step up?"
Mm-hmm.
And so there's some like, are you asking me to roll over? I'm gonna get sassy. If you're asking me to step up, I'd gladly do that without anything.
Do a step up.
I'm just going to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That wasn't hard, but it was okay. The more I look at her, the more she does that.
Another thought was bringing in Bondi and having her work on the rollover with Bondi to see what it looks like. I know it's going to be a lot
Yeah.
slower paced. Bondi's already had breakfast.
Yeah, let's do that.
But it will show you the behavior isolated,
Yeah.
and Bondi would probably allow her to go back and be able to hold on
Yeah,
and then
retrain
phase it
it.
out. Yeah, so I almost want you to like retrain it with Bondi so that you can see what it feels
Great
like.
idea.
You like that?
Yeah, let's do it.